Okay, so this is embarrassing, but last week I bought a pack of gum and my card got declined. Gum, $2.37. And I'm standing there like an idiot, digging through my purse for quarters while the person behind me is clearly judging my life choices. But here's what's really messed up. I have money saved now, like real money, in an actual savings account. 6 months ago, I was Googling can you pay rent with a credit card at 2 a.m. Now I have. Well, let's just say I could probably buy a lot of gum without panicking. And the weird part, I didn't suddenly become good with money. I didn't read some life-changing book or download a fancy app. I just figured out that saving money is easy, well, easier than I thought. Let me explain. Part 1. Why it feels hard. Look, we've all been there. You're at Target for just one thing, and somehow your cart looks like you're preparing for the apocalypse. Or you're splitting dinner with friends, and everyone's throwing in 20s, and you're doing this weird mental math like, okay, if I only ate the breadsticks and had water, technically I owe $4.50, but that makes me look cheap, so... And then there's your mom. God bless her. Just save a little each month, honey. Right, Mom. Why didn't I think of that? Just save money. Revolutionary. The thing is, I tried everything. I downloaded Mint. Spent 3 hours categorizing my spending like I was doing taxes. I tried the envelope method. Literally put cash in envelopes like it's 1987. I even tried that thing where you save every $5 bill. You know what happened? I stopped using cash entirely just to avoid the temptation of saving. But the real problem wasn't the method. It was that every time I looked at my bank account, I felt like I was failing some adult test everyone else had passed. Like, when did everyone else figure this out? When did they have the meeting where they explained how to not live paycheck to paycheck? Because I swear one day I'm buying whatever I want with my birthday money, and the next day I'm an adult, and suddenly everything costs money, and I'm supposed to know how to manage it. Nobody teaches you this stuff. They just expect you to magically understand that you need 6 months of expenses saved while also paying rent that costs more than some people's entire salary. So yeah, it feels impossible. But that's because we're thinking about it all wrong. Okay, first thing, forget everything you think you know about saving money. Seriously, all those rules about saving 20% of your income? Bullshit. Having an emergency fund of 6 months' expenses before you can start real saving? Also bullshit. You know what works? Being really, really lazy about it. I'm not kidding. The lazier your system, the more likely you'll stick with it. So I had this friend, Sarah. She's one of those naturally organized people who color codes her calendar and actually uses the budgeting apps. And I was complaining to her about money stuff, and she goes, just automate it. Just automate it. Like that's advice. But then she showed me her setup. She has this savings account, and get this, she can't even access it from her phone app. Like, she physically cannot see the money or touch it without calling the bank. And every week, $25 just disappears from her checking account. She doesn't think about it, doesn't decide about it, doesn't have a whole internal debate about whether she deserves to save money this week. It just happens. So I tried it. But because I'm broke and paranoid, I started with $8 a week. $8. I know, high roller over here. But you know what? After 2 months, I had, let me do the math, like $64 I completely forgot about. $64 that I didn't miss, that I didn't accidentally spend on weird Amazon purchases at midnight. The second thing, your brain is not your friend when it comes to money. This is going to sound harsh, but your brain is basically a toddler when it comes to financial decisions. It sees something shiny and goes, want. It gets tired and goes, treat. It gets stressed and goes, retail therapy. And if you try to use willpower to fight this, you will lose. Every time. Last month, I was having a terrible day at work. My boss was being weird. I spilled coffee on my shirt. Just one of those days, you know? So I'm walking home feeling sorry for myself, and I pass this little boutique. And there's this jacket in the window. Not even that cute, honestly. But my brain goes, you've had a hard day. You deserve nice things. 3 seconds later, I'm inside trying it on. Old me would have bought that jacket. 120 bucks I didn't have for a jacket I didn't need because I felt bad. But here's what saved me. I literally couldn't afford it. Not because I'm broke, but because I'd already paid my savings account for the week. When those $25 is already gone from my checking account, my brain can't trick me into thinking I have extra money. The third insight: small amounts are better than big amounts. This is the part that blew my mind. Everyone thinks you need to save big chunks to make it worth it. Like, what's the point of saving $10? That's not even a meal at a decent restaurant. But that's exactly wrong. Small amounts are magic because they don't trigger your scarcity panic. When I tried to save $100 at once, my brain would freak out. What if we need that money? What if something happens? What if? But $8? My brain doesn't even notice $8 is gone. And here's the weird part. Those small amounts add up faster than you think. Not just mathematically, but psychologically. 3 months into my $8 a week thing, I checked my savings account and had almost $100. And I literally said holy shit out loud in the bank parking lot because it felt like finding money. Money I had forgotten about. Money that appeared like magic, but it wasn't magic. It was just consistent, boring, automatic. The fourth thing: you're not saving money, you're buying peace of mind. This is the mindset shift that changed everything for me. I used to think saving money was about, buying a house someday or retiring or whatever, big future things that felt impossible anyway. But actually, saving money is about not having that pit in your stomach when unexpected stuff happens. 2 weeks ago, my phone screen cracked, completely shattered. Like, I could barely read my texts. Old me would have panicked, would have put it on a credit card and felt sick about it for weeks. Would have probably kept using the broken phone for months because I couldn't deal with the expense. But I had money saved. Not a lot, but enough to get my phone fixed and not lose sleep over it. And that feeling, that absence of panic, is worth more than whatever interest rate your savings account is paying. The fifth realization: it's not about the money, it's about proving you can take care of yourself. This is going to sound cheesy, but bear with me. Every time you save money, even if it's $3, you're telling yourself that future you matters. That future you deserves to have options, deserves to not panic when life gets weird, and when you start treating yourself like someone worth taking care of. I don't know, something shifts. I was always the friend who couldn't afford to go out, who had to decline invitations because I was broke, who felt like a burden when people offered to pay for me. Now I'm not rich or anything, but I'm not that person anymore. I can say yes to things that matter. I can help friends when they need it. I can handle my own emergencies. And that confidence, that changes everything. Part 3. Okay, so what do you actually do? Step 1. Pick an amount that feels stupid small. I'm serious. If $10 a week feels like a lot, make it 5. If 5 feels like a lot, make it 2. The amount doesn't matter. The habit matters. I know someone who saves 50 cents a day. 50 cents, that's like half a candy bar. But she's been doing it for a year and has almost $200 she forgot about. Step 2. Make it automatic and invisible. Set up an automatic transfer for the day after you get paid, from your checking account to a savings account you can't easily access. I use an online bank for my savings, not because I'm fancy, but because it takes 3 business days to get my money back. Just enough friction to make me think twice about whether I need that thing I suddenly decided I can't live without. Step 3. Pretend the money doesn't exist. This is key. Once that money transfers, it's gone. It doesn't exist. You can't spend it, you can't borrow from it, you can't even think about it. I literally pretend I make less money than I do. If my paycheck is $500 after taxes, I act like it's $480. The other 20 bucks? What 20 bucks? Step 4. Don't check your savings balance. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. If you check your balance too often, you'll either get discouraged because it's growing slowly, or you'll get tempted to spend it because, look how much I have. I check mine every 3 months, like a little surprise gift to myself. Step 5. When you mess up, and you will, just start again. Look, You're going to have a month where you can't save anything, where you need that money for something urgent, where you forget to set up the transfer and suddenly it's been 3 weeks. That's fine. That's normal. That's not failure. Just start again the next week. No drama, no guilt, no I'm terrible with money spiral. Consistency over perfection. Always. Part 4. The shift that changes everything. You want to know the moment I knew this was working? I was at the grocery store and my card got declined. Again. But this time, instead of that familiar panic, I just switched cards. Because I knew I had backup. Not a lot, but enough. And I realized I wasn't afraid anymore. For the first time in my adult life, I wasn't scared of unexpected expenses. I wasn't avoiding looking at my bank account. I wasn't lying awake at night doing math about rent and bills. I had become someone who had money saved. Not because I was rich, but because I had decided to take care of myself. And here's what nobody tells you. Once you see yourself as someone who saves money, saving money becomes easier. It's not about discipline anymore. It's just who you are. You're someone who takes care of future you. Someone who has backup plans. Someone who doesn't panic when life gets expensive. And that person can handle anything. So remember that gum situation I mentioned at the beginning? Turns out I was using the wrong card. I had plenty of money in my checking account. I just grabbed my old debit card by mistake. But you know what? Even in that embarrassing moment, I wasn't actually worried because I knew I had options. That's what saving money really buys you. Not stuff, not some perfect future, just options and the confidence that comes with knowing you can handle whatever comes next. Start with whatever amount feels easy, even if it's embarrassingly small, even if it feels pointless. Future you is waiting, and they're going to be so grateful you started today instead of waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. If this helped, hit subscribe and maybe share it with that friend who's always stressed about money because they're not broken either. They just haven't figured this out yet. Now go set up that automatic transfer. Your future self will thank you.